This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
So, I guess waiting till game number 161 to get shut out at home for the first time all season is not supposed to set off, warning signs for what could happen in the postseason. Welcome in. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Not only follow this, but also follow Connor Thomas as he brings you each and every Locked On Phillies daily podcast as well. Not great. 0 for 17 with runners in scoring position over the last three games. Also not great. The 11-run affair, that was nice against the Marlins there. And then here against the Twins, struggle in the first two games here. Not great. Not fun. And I know a lot of people might look at this and be like, hey, you clinched now with the Brewers winning. You clinched the number 2 spot. You clinched a, home field advantage and all that in the first round of the playoffs that you'll play in. First round bye, and then, you're at home. A lot of people might look at it and be like, whoa, stop being such a gloomy Gus about this whole thing, right? Yeah, no, when the offense has struggled mightily in recent years in the playoffs and all of a sudden just gone ice cold, then, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be concerned about an 11-run performance, and then little by little it dwindles down to, 11 to 3 to 2 to 0 runs. That's going to be a bit of a concern for a lot of people, myself included. This was, unfortunately, against a former Phillies farmhand, one that you traded away, by the way, for Johan Duran. And Mick Abel came in here with absolute and utter vengeance against the Phillies. Mick Abel tonight. Now, we're going to go over the box score and all that stuff, but I'll just tell you right out of the gate, this is an easy one.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I always hate to, tip of the cap to the other team. But when it's Mick Abel, a guy that you traded away, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. 9. That's it. 9 strikeouts. 73 pitches over 6 innings of work. That's going to be a little bit of a concern. 1 walk in all of that, 3 hits. That's it. Yeah. Not great. Not ideal. Kyle Schwarber, he put in his book. Bryce Harper, he put in his book twice tonight. So that's great. Not a great feeling when you're going up against a former prospect and a guy that you saw struggle in his time up here at the major league level, especially as his career went on after a great debut. Saw him start to struggle after that and unfortunately came back down to earth and then went up against his former team, the team that again traded him away, and he was Cy Young caliber in essence. Not a great showing for your Phillies offense tonight. As we have highlighted a couple of times over the last couple of nights here, Kyle Schwarber again goes homerless. He still sits on 56 home runs, still too shy of the Ryan Howard club record of 58. Unfortunately for Kyle Schwarber. I am seeing now, though, from Todd Zalecki, after Bryce Harper also struggled on the evening. Bryce Harper was able to get a base knock and a walk. That was great. But Trey Turner is expected to be back in the lineup. Seeing that right now from Todd Zalecki of MLB.com. He will play tomorrow, the 3:05 start time, by the way, and he will start at shortstop. However, not expected to play the entire game in the game 162 of the Philadelphia Phillies season. But without question, player of the game, again, that goes to Mick Abel and what he was able to bring to the table today. As far as...
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point for me in this Philadelphia Phillies ball club. Unfortunately, it did come early in this ball game when you saw Kyle Schwarber step to the plate in the first inning of tonight's game. You already saw Buxton lead off things with that solo home run off Ranger Suarez. You saw Harrison Bader go down swinging. Kyle Schwarber went down swinging as the second batter of the game, as he's been. He goes down, flailing at a changeup down in the zone. Just looked like a guy that was really trying. Look, a guy that's got 56 home runs on the season it's easy to look at him and say, oh, every time he goes up there, he's trying to hit a home run. Right now, look, I know he's a DH. I know he doesn't play out there in the field. I know you could easily justify, and it is easily justified, that he is even playing in these games that don't really mean anything to the Phillies. When you see him go down the way he did, buckling on that changeup, that 2-2 changeup that Mick Abel threw him to start off the game, you knew things weren't going to go great. Then Bryce Harper steps up. He strikes out on 6 pitches, another 2-2 fastball. This one's down in the zone. It was right in that famous nitro zone, if you will, for Bryce Harper. He swings over top of it. It's a 1-2-3 inning strikeout the side situation for Mick Abel. Watching him walk off the mound in that first inning, you go, yeah, this isn't just a guy who's making a start. This is a guy that is out once again, as I open the show, for vengeance on the Philadelphia Phillies. And that was pretty much it after that. Now, as far as what you'll be talking about tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
You're going to be talking about Ranger Suarez leaving the game after 4 1/3 innings pitched tonight, taking a liner off the inner calf, I believe, or thigh, excuse me. They called it a left thigh contusion, and he was taken out of the game. By the way, rightfully so. I don't care if he was laughing, and I know it's been pointed out on social media. It's been pointed out by the broadcast many times over. Oh, Ranger was laughing as he left the game. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if he was laughing or not. I care that just the Phillies had the wherewithal to go, hey, we're going to need this guy in the postseason. It's the second to last game of the year. It's his last start of the regular season. Yeah, we're going to sit him down. It's the no-duh type of approach to it. One of my favorite comedians all time, Norm Macdonald. He used to do a joke on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live about this, brought to you by the medical journal, Duh. For those that know, you know. This was the perfect example of this for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. Ranger Suarez take a liner off of Jeffers, off his thigh. They take him out of the game. See you later. That's it. Bye-bye. In total, unfortunately for Ranger tonight, it wasn't looking good before that. 4 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs, just 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 84 pitches to get through 4 1/3 innings of work tonight. Come on, Ranger. You want to round things out to be a little bit better. So I think in terms of what you'll be talking about tomorrow, you'll be talking about whether or not Ranger Suarez is healthy enough to go into the postseason, and likely will be your number 2 starter in the postseason. And then you cross your fingers, this bruise heals up rather nicely by then. But it's not just that, unfortunately, for Ranger Suarez. It's not just tonight. It's not just the injury. It's more so the numbers. Looking at 4 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 solo home runs. Not great. And this is on the heels of his start against the Arizona Diamondbacks, where he went just 4 innings, 6 runs, all earned, 8 hits, a solo home run, which was also, by the way, on the heels of a 6-inning, 3-run quality start, but albeit 7-hit performance against the LA Dodgers. This is not what you want to see from Ranger Suarez at the end of the season. And when Ranger goes into these lulls, he goes into these lulls for 4 or 5 starts, which obviously would mean his next start could be another one of these lulls. Now, you just cross your fingers and say, all right, well, you got a little bit of a break here. You got like a week. You'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and hope that that's exactly the way this comes into play. When we come back, I'm going to take your comments on this game, what you guys have to say about it. We'll also get into what the Phillies have coming up in the postseason, all that and more on this edition of Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Right now, let me tell you about Prize Picks and all the Prize Picks have to offer. This episode, by the way, is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of the football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right on Prize Picks. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and my, oh my, you can have yourself a great time. Right now, download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's Locked On MLB for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And how about FanDuel? NFL season well upon us right now. Eagles 3-0, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-0. FanDuel, get in on the action as the season well underway. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $350 in bonus bets to use across the FanDuel app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet, player props, building a same-game parlay even, and also checking your daily fantasy lineup. It's quick. It's easy. It's the best way to add a little bit more excitement to your game day ritual. So what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to get started. And place your first $5 bet. And if it hits, $300 in bonus bets to use across the FanDuel app. So go to FanDuel.com to get started and download the FanDuel app today. That's FanDuel.com. Before I get into the chat check, look at the rest of the pitchers today. Max Lazar came in and gave you 2+ innings there, 2 1/3 to be exact. 2 runs, unfortunately, allowed. Also allowed a home run. Needed 40 pitches to get through his 2 1/3 innings tonight. Orion Kirkring got that final out for Max Lazar there. That was good to see. He also got the strikeout logged in there as well. Just a 4-pitch at bat there. Meza came in there, 2 strikeouts. Nice to see that from him. And also Lou Trevino coming in there, did allow a walk, but also got a strikeout. 19 pitches to get through his final inning of work tonight. Ride that into the postseason there, fellas. Let's get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people feel about this unfortunate Phillies ending tonight. Really not just the ending, but the way the entire game went, unfortunately. Let's start it off with Seabrook. Why does the Marlins and Twins series feel like how exactly this team will perform in the postseason? Seabrook, you are stating my darkest fears. And really, I think all of us, our darkest fears going into the postseason. Morgan Landy, hello. Reds up 6-0 on the Brewers. Decided not to try for the #1 seed. Disappointing. Right? Won't be... Wait. Jess Patrick, I wouldn't want to be far as trying to figure out what to say in this postcast. Well, here's what we can say. What I've said in the opening segment. Is this not our greatest fear? When Zach Wheeler went down, people were like, it's over. And I'm like, you know what's crazy? Not a lot of playoff rotations have 2 Cy Young candidates that you can rely on. The Phillies had 2. One was Zach Wheeler, and unfortunately that ended the way it did. The other is Christopher Sanchez. So I feel kind of good that not a lot of other teams can really rely on a Cy Young candidate to still be the front end of their playoff rotation. So I still feel kind of good about that. Plus, my biggest fear with the Phillies in the postseason wasn't about their starting pitching. It was about whether or not they were going to hit the baseball. When this Phillies team was constructed, even this core unit with Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and all these guys, they were built on the idea of similar to what the 2008 Phillies were built on, which was, okay, look, maybe Cole Hamels will go unconscious and be great, but that's not like he's going to be a playoff MVP. Well, he was that, so even that was exceeded. But it was built on the idea, it was predicated on the idea that this lineup was going to outslug other teams. This lineup is constructed to outslug other teams. The unfortunate reality of the last 3 years is that they have come up so small in outslugging other teams. And even when they have outslugged other teams, the very next day, no hit. Or their bullpen blows it in a very tight game that's like 2-1, like it was against the Diamondbacks, where Craig Kimbrell comes in and blows it on a game where your Phillies offense barely got going at all. So it really, for me, comes down to whether or not they're going to hit. So the biggest concern for me is the fact that right now you're going into the postseason over your last 3 games, seeing an 0-for-17 with runners in scoring position. And I can only hope that the Phillies offense tomorrow, with Trey Turner back in the lineup, and potentially one last shot for Kyle Schwarber to have at getting 58 home runs on the season, is that all of a sudden they start mashing. And not just the long ball, but, runner on second base. There's a base knocking to right center field. RBI single, RBI double, whatever it might be. Hitting with runners in scoring position. That would be a nice little thing. That'd be what I believe some people call a sight for sore eyes. John, hello. The number of strikeouts by this lineup lately is becoming concerning. Yeah, I agree. Joseph Grillo, observation, it's not the bats going quiet. It's the manner in which they go quiet. No hard contact. Joseph Grillo, I totally agree. The rule of 25, if they strike out 5 times by the end of the third, then they will always strike out double digits. This is fair. I like this. This is mathematics. Are you a math teacher, Philly on 8? Because that makes perfect sense. Tonight's no-shows from Jess Patrick, Bader, Schwarber, Sosa. And Sosa didn't strike out. Look at that. Look at Sosa. Offense is down again. Yep, I agree. Must be hard to score on pitchers with ERAs north of 5. Arc of 0, is that it? Is that your name? Yeah, that's a great point. RF, anyone catching a cold? Everyone catching a cold. Yes, it seems that way. Topper seemed to give away at least 5 games this year after winning the first 2 games of the series. I see what you're saying. So in other words, just kind of punting on the idea of sweeping. I agree with that. I will say overall, if somebody said to me, what did you think of Rob Thompson this year? I'd be like, he was fantastic. He was great. Do I think he was perfect? No, absolutely not. I don't think he was perfect, but I do think he was great this year. I mean, putting the outfielders in perfect positions to have success is exactly what a manager should do. That's a perfect example of that. That's every sport, whether it's a coach, whether it's a coordinator in football, manager in this case in baseball. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. Again, there's some things I didn't like, but that's one thing in particular he did really well. DM, Phillies will fall short again. No hitting. I hope not. Richard Hess, preview of the playoffs. I hope not. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Similar to last Sunday when the Phillies are playing and the Eagles are still playing, I have Eagles responsibility. So I'm going to try my darndest to be here in this seat again for you guys. Like I tried last week. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I'll try to be in the seat again tomorrow when the Phillies play number 162 against this Minnesota Twins team. It's a 3:05 start time tomorrow. Christopher Sanchez slated to make his last start of the season. We'll see if that actually goes down. Simeon Woods, Richardson will get the start there for the Twins. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Hope to be back with you guys tomorrow. If not, I'll see you guys in the playoffs. And before I sign off in what could be my final regular season postcast of the Phillies season, let me just say this is my second year doing Phillies postcasts with you guys on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been fantastic. I have really enjoyed just talking baseball with you guys, reading your comments on the show, live on air, obviously. This has been so much fun for me, and I hope it's been fun for you guys. For the people that have left just awesome comments and very complimentary comments and all that stuff, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys following me throughout the entire season. For the people that didn't like the show but still left comments and still watched the show, well, thank you for still watching it. And also, I appreciate the constructive criticism as well. So how about that? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for me when you got your postcast needs here on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. And make sure you guys like and subscribe as well for Connor Thomas, who does you covered each and every day for your Locked On Daily Phillies podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the playoffs. Until then, go Phils.